Hello everyone, welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport, and today we're going to be talking about a report from Rugby 365 that the Stormers could face a potential ban from the United Rugby Championship due to the continued issues within the administration of the Western Province Rugby Football Union, which is going to be very interesting and quite an interesting a bit of a standoff between SA Rugby and the Western Province Rugby Union. But before we get into the details and exactly what's happening between Mark Alexander, exactly what's been said, what the potential consequences and stuff could be, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. As always, a big shout out to Manscaped who are currently supporting the channel. This is your last day to get 20% off as well as free shipping on manscaped.com. They are the #1 brand for men's below-the-waist grooming and are trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. You can go and join them using the code FOREVER at checkout. You can get yourself 20% off as well as free shipping. Right, so yesterday we saw a report released by Rugby 365, and it actually gained a little bit of momentum. And apparently, some inside sources have said that it is not completely off the table. And the report basically said that SA Rugby President Mark Alexander has been in direct communication with the Western Province Rugby Football Union President Zalt Marais, who currently faces a vote of no confidence and is one of the people who are being accused of running the Western Province into the ground. You look at all the financial woes, all the maladministration, all currently undergoing there. He has been touted as one of the main culprits in the demise of the Western Province Rugby Union. And apparently, one of the potential consequences that SA Rugby are threatening to replace the Stormers with the Cheetahs in the United Rugby Championship, which would be a huge statement if they were to do it, which I don't think probably would be the case. But it's interesting that SA Rugby are willing to hang that kind of punishment out there and say, listen, if you don't sort yourself out, if you don't come to terms with exactly what you're doing right, and you don't stick to the mandate that we have given you, we can take action like this. We got the power to be able to say to you, right, you know what? You will not be our URC representative. We'll go with the Cheetahs. And look, I think there's a lot of people that wanted to see the Cheetahs within the United Rugby Championship, not at the expense of the Western Province being one of probably the most supported union in the country in many ways, in terms of a sort of fierce and loyal support base and a very big rugby tradition in the Western Province. However, I think that action does need to be taken, and I don't think that probably should be the URC, but I think that the time has long come past for the Western Rugby Union to sort its stuff out. And I mean, you look at the unions around, the Sharks, who are just doing absolutely everything right, now announcing a partnership with the Cheetahs, the Bulls, the way that they've gone and used the club system, the players they're bringing in, the coach they're bringing in, the foundations that they are building as a union. The Lions, look, there's a lot wrong with the Lions, but in terms of administration and stuff like that, there's no issues in terms of debt and financial issues and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think there's no money, but that's what it comes from an ownership in terms of external investment. But in terms of the way it's run, it's pretty sound. It's checking all the boxes, it's dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. But the Western Province Rugby is in a bit of a mess. And that has led to apparently Mark Alexander threatening and saying, listen, if you don't sort yourself out, we will come in and we will take action. So they were actually originally part of a joint committee where the SA Rugby had come in and try and right itself. And apparently they invoked the clause 28, which placed the entire union under administration. But things are still not come in and around. And now Zalt Marais, who's currently the president of the Western Province Rugby Football Union, he faces a vote of no confidence. And it gets a bit sketchy when you look at press releases being released by the Western Province to say that that they've got the support, that they deny all the uprising and all the accusations and stuff like that. It's kind of becoming the age old thing really of really talented and very I'm just trying to bring up the press release here. Very talented and a very rugby rich region being run to the ground because of no administration. We've seen this all before with the Eastern Cape, but this is a press release which was released last week on the 2nd of September, which was issued basically on behalf of Zalt Marais. And the title of the press release itself was Western Province Rugby Structures United Behind DHL Western Province. And that was basically ahead of the semi-final. And it was the first time we had seen communication coming out from, the Western Province Rugby structures. But I don't think that it was just about the semi-finals. I think it was a bit of a show of this is who we are, this is who the structures are, and we're not going to go anywhere. And at the time, Western Province President Zalt Maria was saying that we are a region with a proud rugby history and a strong rugby culture, so to see our team in the semi-finals means a lot. The passion that our people have for our game and our team is unrivaled, and we know the players will be giving everything to make them proud. This is a man who now faces a vote of no confidence because of the administration issues that the Western Province have had. So something has to give. We do need new people involved and in charge of Western Province Rugby, because it has been on a downward spiral for a number of years, and it has had a lot of financial issues. And that could have all gone away. The MVM Holdings, who have eventually bought the Sharks, they were originally looking to try and buy the Western Province, to try and buy the Stormers, and they had made, I think it was about a 60 million rand bid to say we will come in and we will buy the union. And it all sort of basically fell apart for a variety of reasons. I think the people in charge, in terms of the way they're very sort of quite power hungry and not willing to sort of give up their spot at the table, could be a major reason why MVM Holdings did walk away and went to the Sharks. And you look at what's happening in the Sharks within a year of them being taken over, and they've got a whole business sort of center that's been developed. They've now got a partnership with the Cheetahs. Rock Nation is signing up all the players. They're bringing in some phenomenal players. They're bringing in a powerhouse coaching staff with the likes of a Neil Powell, who's going to join them after the Sevens World Cup, which in fact starts a year in today. So it's not good times. It's not good times within the Western Province, and something has to happen. It'll be very interesting to see what will happen come the 20th of September when he does have the vote of no confidence, in terms of if they can try and remove him, start putting in the right type of people and trying to start getting back onto the road. It's just not going well for the Western Province. They've lost so many players. They've lost like an entire loose trio, and there just hasn't been a lot of positives coming out of that union. And every now and again, they had some good performances on the pitch, but John Dobson's under a lot of pressure. The union's under a lot of pressure financially. Apparently, they're quite it's quite murky in terms of the financials and stuff like that. So something has to happen within the Western Province, because it is such a waste of what is in many ways sort of the rugby breadbasket of the country, and it's now becoming a basket case. So let's hope that something does happen. I don't think that they will see a ban from the URC, especially not this year, given the fact that the motion of no confidence comes on the 20th and the URC kicks off about 4 days later. So Stormers fan, I don't think you need to worry just yet, but that is a potential sort of carrot that's being dangled out there, that's saying that, listen, if you don't sort yourselves out, we can make adjustments. And I think the threat will be more if in a year's time we're in a similar situation, or if you've gotten any worse, we've got no issue after the end of the season going, right, you know what, you're in a mess, the Cheetahs have got their ducks in a row, we're going to back them, we'll put them into the URC ahead of you if you don't sort yourselves out. So it's a big threat from SA Rugby. I don't see it going through. I don't see them following it up. But it is good to see that SA Rugby are starting to sort of take a more aggressive approach in terms of ensuring and making sure that change does happen within the Western Province. And all you can do, especially as a Western Province fan, is cross your fingers and hope the right people get elected to the right positions, and that they can sort of stop, papering over, sort of start filling up the cracks and start rebuilding what should be probably the strongest union in the country in terms of the amount of talent that comes out of Cape Town and the Western Cape at large. You think of the schools, you think of the 3 universities, or 4 universities, you think of CPUT, you think of UWC, UCT, Stellenbosch. It's a rugby powerhouse down there. They've got so many good structures until it gets to the Western Province and the provincial unions that it shouldn't be a difficult thing to try and get right. Let me know what you think of the entire situation down in the comments below. Do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Check out manscaped.com. Use the code forever at checkout. Get yourself 20% off as well as free shipping. My name is Steven. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll chat to you soon.